I'm going to talk to you today about the energy systems and how important they are. And I'm going to talk to you also about the 4 levels of eating. But what I want you to know is the information that I'm giving you, I've used on my athletes. I've taken them from being mediocre to world class. What I would say to them is, when you come in the gym, give me your body, cut your head off, and I'll make you a champion. And I took pride in doing that. But now some of those same principles I'm going to be able to transfer to you. And I think you're absolutely going to love what I'm going to talk to you today about. Okay, here we go. I'm going to teach you literally how to blueprint your body. Ron, what does that mean? What does that mean to blueprint your body? What it means is, when you see an impressive physique, it's not because that person is so strong that you're impressed with their physique. What is impressive is that their aesthetic look has something that appeals to the eye. They have this small tapered waist, these huge shoulders, huge chest, and they're striated and ripped all over. That's impressive. Now, the person that may be the strongest may not have the most impressive physique. We're going to teach you today how to build that impressive physique by blueprinting your body using the 3 energy systems. Now, we're going to start off with the phosphagen system, or the muscle building system. When I refer to the phosphagen system, I'm going to refer to it as the muscle building system, because this is the system that really causes the muscles to grow and to get bigger. You know, oftentimes what we don't understand is that if we're trying to accomplish something and we're going about it working extremely hard, but working extremely hard doing the wrong thing or the opposite thing, we're not going to get the results that we're looking for. And some of you are extremely frustrated because you're not getting the results you're looking for. Now, as I said, the principles that I'm going to teach you today, I used on my athletes, those that were mediocre, and I have taken them to a place where they've competed nationally and internationally. So as we're talking about this, I want you to be very, very mindful, and I want you to think this through and absorb what I'm saying to you, because it will change your body and change your life. Okay, the muscle building system. So I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. We have a guy that's sitting here that's overweight and obese. And we have a guy that's sitting here that's extremely small. But they both want to go to the same spot, right there in the middle. They want to have this aesthetic look. Now, would you tell this guy, hey, you need to do more aerobics, it's going to build the muscle? Absolutely not. I just told you it's the muscle building system that's going to do that. So we would take his body and we would start shaping it and building it around the muscle building system. What does that mean? During the muscle building system, it takes up to 10 to 12 seconds, 3 to 12 seconds to use this system. And the muscle size and the muscle strength are so closely related that as that muscle gets stronger, it is growing. So I want you to concern yourself with the joint that muscle is attached to and use arc movements. What does that mean? All of the muscle groups in the body are made in an arc. So you want to stay within that arc formation. You don't want to move outside of that arc formation. Now, we're going to build his chest. We're going to build his shoulders. We're going to build his biceps and triceps, his upper body. We're going to put some size on this small guy. So the exercises that we're going to use are exercises that are going to build mass, and it's only going to be 8 to 12 repetitions. Don't sacrifice your form for the weight. You want to make sure that you have good form. Why? That's going to protect you from injury. Make sure that as you're doing these exercises, they are done appropriately. So you're going to do 3 sets of each exercise per muscle group, and you're going to do 8 to 12 reps of each one of those sets. And so you're going to build the chest, You're going to build the shoulders, the triceps, the biceps, and your back doing this. Okay, now that we've got that portion done, we've built the bulk and the size of those muscles. And he said, man, I like the way this looks. So now that we've done that, we're going to move to a whole nother system. This is called the lactic acid system, or we could say the system that brings the definition into your body. It brings the striations and the separation into the body. So now that we've built the size, it's nice and full and round. Now, this energy system, the lactic acid system, or the defining system, is above 20 seconds to 3 minutes. When you're working in this system, it's going to build the separation. So your sets are going to be a little bit longer using the same exercises with good form, and you start to feel that deep burning sensation, and you say in your mind, oh, that burns. You can't use the same amount of weight. Because when you're using the building system, it's somewhere around 12 seconds, and you want to make sure that you're using the appropriate weight. But when you move to this system, you're going to use a little bit lighter weight so that you can do more repetitions. And when you feel that burning sensation, it is not time to start. That is what you're seeking for. And you want to push through that until you get to 15 to 20 repetitions. That's going to build the definition and the striations in those muscles. Now that we've built his body the way we want it built, we're going to move down to his waist. Now his waist may be a little thicker than he wants it to be. So that's where we start doing what we call aerobic. Aerobic means with air, and aerobic is fat burning. Now, you want to make sure you're not using the muscle building system on your waist, because your waist and your abdominals, they're muscles as well. And if you do 8 to 12 reps, guess what they're going to do? They're going to grow. We don't want them to grow. We want them nice and lean and slender, so it gives you that aesthetic look, that nice V taper. So that's what we're after. Now that we've worked on his body, let's go over to this guy that's a little bit overweight, and you may even call him obese. He may even have what you call moobs or breast tissue that he wants to get rid of. So I'm going to start working on his body. The thing that I want to start with him is I want to start him off with the aerobics. I want to get him fat burning. I want to speed his metabolism up. And as we're speeding his metabolism up, there's something that's taking place. His body is getting smaller and leaner, but at the same time, if you do a tremendous amount of aerobics, you have this muscle structure underneath all of that body fat. What is happening to it? We want a blueprint. We want to look ahead of time to say, when we finish this project, this is where we want to be. We want to have that nice aesthetic look. If we just continue to do the aerobics, he's going to look like a marathon runner. Long, lean, thin muscles. That may not be what he wants. He may want to have that aesthetic look the way this smaller guy did. So we're going to give him the same body by blueprinting his body. Now that we're doing the aerobics, we see the excess body fat going down. We're working with him with his nutrition as well as his training, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. As his body fat is going down, his metabolism is speeding up. We turned his body into a fat burning machine. Now all of a sudden we see his body fat is going in the right direction. We want to look at blueprinting. So we want to build the muscle that's underneath the fat, so when the fat continues to decrease, he's going to meet the muscle in the middle. So how do we do that? We continue with the aerobics, but we use the muscle building system, or the size building system, which is called the phosphagen system. And we start to do the same thing. We'll build his chest, because as the breast tissue starts to go away, the muscle underneath is getting bigger. We're building his shoulders, we're building his biceps, we're building his triceps, we're building his back and his traps at the same time. So we're using that muscle building system, and as he gets leaner and leaner, we slowly transition into using the system that creates that separation and definition, which is the lactic acid system. So, as we do this, I want you to understand this. As you use these principles, you're going to find how naturally they work for you. But you cannot forget this. This is so utterly important. And that is the training portion of reaching your goals is 30%. The eating portion is 70%. The mindset is 100%. I want you to be 100% invested in this process. Now, we're going to go on to the nutritional portion of it, which is powerful. You combine the energy systems with the nutrition and boom, you've got your body blueprint and the body that you've always wanted. Now let's go directly into the nutritional portion of this segment. Now remember, I said that the nutrition is 70%. Now that doesn't mean concentrate only on your nutrition and you're going to get the results. Nutrition is 70% of it, but if you don't apply it with your training, it's just not going to work. You need both. You need both combined together, but the nutrition part of it is 70% of the equation. But the mindset is 100%. You've got to have a 100% mindset that I'm going to accomplish this. Now, I wanted to make sure we got that clear before we went into the nutrition portion of it. Now, the nutrition portion of it, I want to explain this to you, that there are 4 levels of eating. You have eating for survival, which a lot of people do that. It's out of convenience. You know, you eat the canned goods, you eat the mac and cheese and those things that are extremely convenient for you. And then you eat those that are addicted, or they eat for pleasure. They want to release the happy hormones, the chocolates and different things like that. The 3rd level is what I want to talk to you about. The 3rd and the 4th level. That's where me and you are, because we have goals that we want to reach, and we want to make sure that our eating contributes to us reaching our destination. So the 3rd level is for health, life, and longevity. Now, we're mindful. These are people that take their vitamins. These are people that are juicing, that are doing different things like that, along with just eating healthy foods, their normal proteins. And then the 4th level is performance. Now, I want to explain performance to you because this is an area that you probably haven't talked about, or you probably haven't thought much about. But when I am competing, I compete and I eat for performance. I look at my body as a vehicle, and I'm going to put the finest fuel in this vehicle so that it performs for me. So with doing that, there are certain things that surround this. Now, I've got my exercises that I'm doing. I'm using the muscle building system. I'm also using the lactic acid system, and I'm also using the aerobic system. Now, I've got those working together for me. Now I've got to fuel my body so that it performs for me, so that as I'm using those systems, the food that I'm feeding it, or the gasoline that I'm giving it, I'm getting the best results. So I want to make sure that before I go and work out, that I have a good pre-workout. I have a good pre-workout that I take in, and that could be a citrulline with arginine mixed with it. So that's going to give me a little extra, and arginine actually and citrulline together releases your own natural growth hormone. So it's going to give me that extra power that I need to push through those workouts, and it's healthy for my heart, and it's going to bring me to another level. After I finish working out, I want to make sure I take in a good post. Now, what I want to do is replenish what I've lost. I've lost a tremendous amount of water. So I want to put in some good water. My body is made up of 70% water, so I want to put a good source of water. I want to make sure that I replace the minerals. I also know that my body needs to repair from the damage that I've caused. So I want to take in a great BCAA, branched chain amino acids. I want to make sure that I take those in because my body will take the path of least resistance. My body wants to repair itself, and if the fuel is right there, it'll utilize it on the spot. Now the water, I want to make sure that the water that I drink is a distilled water that's fortified with the minerals. And within that solution, I want to put my branched chain amino acids so that I make sure that everything that went out, I'm repairing. Now, through the day, I want to make sure that I also take in 5 to 6 meals that include my fats, essential fatty acids, my good sources of protein, and also a good source of carbohydrates. A lot of people want to cut carbohydrates, but carbohydrates are very important. I want to turn my body into a fat-burning machine. See, the problem with most people today in America is not that we're burning too much fat, not that we're too lean, but we carry an excessive amount of body fat. So I want to make sure that I'm taking in 5 to 6 good quality meals a day with my essential fatty acids, my carbohydrates, and a good source of protein so that while I'm working with the 3 energy systems, I'm also fueling my body to perform for me. What are some of the foods that I should eat? A good source of protein would be your lean turkey, lean chicken, your chicken breast. I eat personally the chicken thighs because they taste good, but your turkey thighs are leaner than your chicken thighs. Your fish, your lean fishes, and make sure that you are baking, broiling, or boiling. Never fry your foods from today forward. They don't need to be fried. Anything that you have to use oil, you can also fry with water, and it tastes extremely good. I want to make sure that I'm taking in foods that are actually pulling estrogen out of my body, because estrogen lowers my aggressiveness when I train. Estrogen also lowers my testosterone. So in our environment, we have tremendous amounts of estrogen that we want to get out of our body. So make sure you're taking your cruciferous vegetables and your sulfuric vegetables. Your cruciferous and sulfuric vegetables are carbohydrates. There are 3 types of carbohydrates that I want you to make sure you include in your diet every single day. And that is your complex carbohydrates, which you're eating earlier in the mornings, which are foods like your oatmeal, your rice, your beans, potatoes. Those are complex carbohydrates. Then you have your simple carbohydrates that can be eaten throughout the day. Those simple carbohydrates are carbohydrates like your fruit, oranges, apples, banana. Those are simple carbohydrates. Now your sulfuric or your cruciferous or fibrous carbohydrates, all 3 of those are the same. Those are more your vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, your lettuce, and foods like those that you're going to eat at night. You want to separate those, eat the heavy carbs earlier and eat the lighter carbs later, because the earlier you eat those heavier carbs, the body can utilize those. You don't want to take those to bed with you because your body slows down. So, using these 2 together, remember, you got to have the right mindset also. It is huge. Put this whole thing together and you're going to build the body you have always desired to have. I was so excited to be able to put this together for you and to be able to talk to you about the energy systems as well as the diet and nutrition portion of this video.